That's a good question. Trevor and I have had these conversations a few times actually, and with a number of different players that it comes with the responsibility of being in these positions, right? You sign up for it, you actually put your name on a contract for it, and it's with great responsibility, right? Like with where we're at, it's just the name of the game, and I do believe that. I mean, I don't have any social media, first and foremost. I don't, it was more, I got kind of deep with it a few years ago where I remember sitting on the couch after we just had our second son, and it was in the summertime, so I'm off, and I had both my sons sitting next to me, watching them and hanging out with them, and I remembered, like, I was scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? I mean, I'm not being present with my kids, and I was like, all right, how much time am I wasting? Minutes, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, at the end of my life, what is that gonna add up to looking at news or other people's lives? Like, what am I doing? So that was a kind of turning point for me in terms of just, all right, man, let me just try to be more in the moment with the people that I'm with, whether it's here, home, with family and friends, whatever that is, and know that it comes with it, man, right? It just comes with the job, and sometimes the outside, like, perception, we can sometimes become reality, for good or for bad, and it's just maintaining that, having real conversations with the people that help you through these conversations, through tough times. And that was the message to Trevor, to our players, to all these guys, that, man, it's our responsibility. It comes with the territory, for good or for bad.
How have you felt about the focus level throughout the building this week through practice?
Yeah, a little quieter, like the first few days, I think just not as rah-rah during the week, but I thought, and then Wednesday was more jog walks, so we weren't able to do a ton full speed on Wednesday, but then when we got out there yesterday, had the pads on, man, they practiced hard. You felt a little bit of a buzz, you felt intentionality at practice. You're still coaching, there's still stuff to correct and fix, but I thought that the guys came out yesterday, quiet sometimes okay. I'm sure there's still some ticked off. It's okay to be ticked off, but as long as the way that we approach practice and the way that we approach this game is rooted in, man, we can't let, never again, right? And if we can use it as motivation, a learning moment, and that's how practice maybe was yesterday in some ways, I thought it was good.
Injury report's been getting longer as we go through the season. And when you look at that, guys get opportunities to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that sometimes is a strain on maybe the game plan or on the team, but I mean, how big is it for those guys to kind of embrace that moment and step up?
Huge. I mean, you look at, I know Tim Patrick did not show up in a stat column this past Sunday, right? Tim Patrick played his tail off and blocked his tail off, ran routes full speed, was open, a few times that either we couldn't get it to him or, whatever it was, maybe the ball wasn't going his way. But guys like that have, continued to do right longer. And that's ultimately what it comes down to when you do have injuries and you do have a talented roster of guys that have worked their tails off to stay the course, that maybe haven't made a million plays for us thus far this season, but are going to be ready and prepared when their number is called. I do think we have a group of guys that's important to, that are that next man up mentality, and that list is long.
To that point, you obviously were part of a pretty banged up Bucks team last year, but and then let alone the 2022 Rams.
Right. Yeah.
Challenges in practice the last 2 days to have enough guys to do what you want to do.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we had a few show team DBs playing wide out, and guys bouncing around from a few different positions to do that. And look, it's a challenge. It's all part of adversity, right? It is. It's just all part of an NFL season, and that a lot of teams have gone through, not just us or the Bucks last season or the Rams that year. It's part of it, and it is a balance though of I know Wednesday, specifically this week, like I think a lot of the guys were itching. They wanted to go full speed. They wanted to, more so to help get some of that taste out a little bit and to just go cut it loose a little bit in a moment at practice. And but I'm glad we were able to do that yesterday more, and you could feel that from the guys. So yeah, it's a balancing act when it comes to the way that you're trying to schedule the day for these guys, and also your reps. Like the reps have to be very intentional. Who's getting what rep, what throw does Trevor, these are the throws he needs to get. These are the routes that these guys need to get. They don't need to probably get that one. They've run that a million times, or they're not the primary. Let's move on. So it's yeah, I've had some experience with the balancing act, and ultimately Sunday's coming.
If you're able to speak on it, waiving Colin Saunders and then elevating or signing Branson to the 53-man roster, number one, what went into that decision, but then also in terms of run defense, what do you need to see from that defensive front?
Yeah, you know, I have a lot of respect for Bank. It was, you know, he came here. It was unfortunate just with the way things were from a depth standpoint, and we had an opportunity to get Branson up to the active roster, who's done a phenomenal job on teams all year. That when his number's been called, you know, that's just some of those decisions go into like, all right, hey, how do we? Helmets are hard. You know, getting guys a hat on game day, man, it's a challenge. So we just felt like for us moving forward, that was just kind of the benefit and the best thing for us moving forward. And defensively in the run game, you know, you look at, we try to say, all right, we want to make people one-dimensional, right? Or get our opportunities to rush the passer. Well, we're getting a lot of drop back, first and foremost. Houston was able to maintain balance at the end of that previous game, whereas maybe in weeks prior, we knocked out that run game a little bit better in the second half, right? That's kind of what I've seen. We need to, you know, look at when you're playing a 4-eye, when you're playing a 3, when you're playing a 5, you're playing 9, just the techniques up front. At the second level, how are we fitting these runs? Are we staying square? Are we just plugging or aimlessly running through? And our safety fits, we looked at a little bit, okay, our depth at our safety position to start, and then, man, when we see run, all right, we gotta go, right? And so a lot of that goes into stopping the run. I think for the most part all year, I think we've done a solid job at that. It is so critical this week for us to be able to stop the run against these guys that we know they want to run the ball, so that we can get our ops on second. We got to make third down a lot harder than it's been over the last few weeks. Third down has been way too 3 to 5 than 7 to 9, and that makes it a lot harder to convert when those third downs are better, and it starts on first down.
What do you like about Gardek's game?
Love Dennis. You know, he needs to continue to get more. When he's on the grass and he's going that way, it's, man, good things have happened for us. And he's such a pro. All he cares about is the team and working his tail off every day. When he's out there and he's up against a tight end or an OL, whatever it is, he's going to do everything he can to shed and to strike and to make a play, but not because he's trying to do anything outside of the scheme, just because of his mentality and the way that he approaches it. So Dennis and I actually had a really good talk yesterday just out on the grass about staying the course, continuing to push forward, and that he's just feeling better and better as he gets going. So we got to get him more.
The Chargers have 4 guys that all have at least 450 receiving yards.
Yeah.
When you look at McConkey, Johnston, Allen, and Gadsden. How hard is that, and is that the most complete group that maybe you guys have faced this year?
It's up there for sure. They're very detailed route runners, I think. They all complement each other really well, and especially with Gadsden being that big skill tight end, and they complement each other well. Their route detail, I think, is very good. Their spacing in the pass game, you could tell it's understood. You know, I think that was something maybe over the last year, if you were looking at them playing them last year, was something that, they just needed to continue to get better at, maybe add in a piece to, you can see what that's done for that group and for that offense. And Justin's playing with confidence, letting it rip to those guys, understanding where they're going to be, the timing, and their run after catch. They've all had run after catch. So it's definitely a talented unit that is going to challenge us for sure.
Jarian being able to go inside outside for you guys, how have you kind of seen him grow since you got here?
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations. We've had a lot of talks. We've had a lot of moments, and you know, he was definitely challenged a few weeks ago to you know, continue to do right and continue to go out there. And he, you know, he was frustrated too at times, right? And wanting to get on the grass to help and go play, which I'm proud the way that he's responded and stayed the course, made some great plays for us on Sunday. He always plays and brings energy, which I do appreciate. And I mean, I thought he triggered really well on the bubbles and some of the quicks outside. Obviously the big interception to start the game, the 4th down stop where he made the great play on the mesh. I'm excited for Jarian. I hope that we can continue to build off of this positive momentum, because he's a guy that, you know, when he's up and he's bouncing around and he's doing right and everybody's communicating at a high level, like he's somebody that can be infectious that way.
What are your conversations with Josh and Traylon then? You know, especially after saying the pass rush with just the 4 guys, it's got to be more productive.
Yeah, and look, when I say that, it's got to be with the coverage though too now. You know, like it has to match. Like you look at all the best. You know, look at the Eagles last year, right, guys? Right? If we're just talking about, I read one of the Chargers D lineman's, you know, comments about like if you could rush 4, right, and play coverage with 7, that is typically a good thing, right? Like I'm releasing 4, right? If you can rush with 4 and my halfback is kind of helping to maybe chip somebody, well now you truly have 4 against 7. I think those odds are usually going to be in the defense's favor if you're pattern matching the right way and the coverage is really getting a little bit more less aired out and having a little bit less air to the coverage. Understanding 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, 2nd and 8, 2nd and 12, where are the sticks, it all kind of goes together. So the conversations with those two have been very positive this week, very positive. And there's an accountability factor for all of us involved, those guys and us as coaches, to, all right, are we coaching it the right way every single day to have the details show up on passing downs to where the coverage and the rush are matching each other. And at the end of the day, man, just go, guys. Don't think about it. Just cut it loose, run it, go, and get off the rock. Just get off the rock and go, man. And not saying we're going to stop the run on our way to the passer, but a little bit of that mentality, especially in some of those 2nd downs, man, just let's hunt a little bit here, man, you know? And they had great combos this week.
Cole Van Lannon, how valuable is his versatility on that line?
Yeah, very, very pleased with Cole as the whole season, right? He came in, obviously, multiple instances have helped us either get through games, starting games. I thought, you know, Cole's just, he does the preparation, the trust that he has in that room with those guys. It's a good group that trusts each other. So I have a ton of faith in Cole this week stepping in if he has to and continue to keep playing at a high level for us. So his pad level, we talked about wanting to continue to improve and staying lower, and when he's lower, he's able to be a little bit more explosive. So I've been very pleased with Cole.
What have you seen from Brenton this week, and just how much of a relief is it just to see him back on the practice field in general?
Yeah, it's great to have him back out there. You know, it's you want him out there as much as you can. Obviously, we're continuing to take it day by day, but I just know that, you know, obviously we're a better offense, right? When he's on the grass, and I know how much he wants it. I know how much he's put into his rehab and the time off. So, you know, hopefully we can continue to get more.
Coach, thank you so much.
All right, guys.